honestly, I love this kind of stuff. So my favorite website is Pacer, which is the federal website that has all of this kind of crap on it. I have a freaking monthly subscription so I can download documents and court records. I love court records. I wanted to be a lawyer and I had ADHD. And
I actually did not go to school for journalism. I wanted to though, but I didn't.
I use legal sources. I literally found the law in the U.S. Congress website. So I'm just saying, if you want to tell me that the law I found and the act that passed is not the law, that's fine. But there's a federal law that I literally found on the federal website that's still there. So that's where I get my information. There's also a law school, Cornell, that has, it's a Cornell, y'all familiar with Cornell? Cornell has great resources if you ever want to learn about federal law. And I have been covering legal cases for a long time. And I don't have to be a lawyer to understand how to cover a legal case.
I don't actually have, I'm not pretending to be a lawyer. I'm simply explaining to you what's in the federal guidelines, what the enhancements are, what the judge said, the details about why you don't get time off if you take a plea deal. And there you go. I have never pretended to be a lawyer.
You don't have to just, Emily Baker stands, get the fuck out of my feed. Nobody gives a shit. She's a lawyer. She's covering the case. Great. She also covered my case and she got it all wrong and told y'all I was going to jail and I never fucking went to jail. She also told y'all that I was a criminal destroying evidence, which wasn't true. So I don't know how good her track record is, but she also said that, see, and there's a stand right there. That's not true, Katie. They will defend everything that bitch does. I don't like her. She spent months trying to ruin my reputation because we're in the same competitive field. It's so stupid. Anyways, her stands are rude, and I would never want my people to do this. I would never want my people to go onto Emily's channel and calling her names or telling her she's a bitch. I would never want people to do that. Just watch who you want to watch. It's not a competition. They just like to taunt me because they know that I got beat down by this channel and my reputation destroyed because of her, and she was wrong and never apologized. She spread malicious things about me and documents that were false. And
I don't understand why people on YouTube can't just do their job. Make your content and stop trying to fight and scream and create drama with other creators. Stop trying to steal content or discredit people because you want to be the person that covers the topic.
You need to be less abrasive and speaking out. And then they pit women against women, which is horrible. Women should never be pitted against each other. We should be supporting one another.
And I just have no respect for that kind of woman who goes into opportunities and exploits things for her own personal gain. Emily Baker's a psychopath like Josh. All I know is that I don't want to be involved in the drama, but I will say that Emily is not licensed to practice in the state of Tennessee as a lawyer, and she isn't working as a lawyer. She's in the bar in the state of California, but she endorses really disturbing behavior of lawyers. And if I were a lawyer, you have to follow ethical duties. I just would be embarrassed if I were her colleague.
She's been derogatory to me. She's laughing that I blocked her. And then she's putting up content on there as though it's fact, and it's not fact.
Hi beautiful people, happy Friday. Welcome to part 2. Without a Crystal Ball has stopped her smear campaign against Daily Mail journalist Josh Boswell, and she seemed to have stopped begging for credit for the Daily Mail stealing her content. She has now graduated to accusing the Daily Mail of working for Blake Lively and helping Blake Lively. And not to mention, she seems to have stopped being objective and is dragging Blake Lively all the way to the bank. Quick disclaimer again, I am not on Juston Baldoni's side, I'm not on Blake Lively's side, I'm just reporting on how Without a Crystal Ball cannot play nice and the lengths she will go if she doesn't get her way. It seems Without a Crystal Ball has solved the case as to who really started the smear campaign. So let's get into it. When news came out that the subpoena was legitimate, Josh, who was on Zach Peters' podcast No Filter, said that when he spoke to Juston Baldoni's attorney, he seemed very surprised. Now, listen to what Without a Crystal Ball believes what Juston Baldoni's attorney did. Now, before I show you that clip, Without a Crystal Ball posted this on her Instagram. So, an update on the Baldoni versus Lively case. I've made contact with a few people connected to Juston Baldoni. The fake lawsuit was a complete shock to them. They had no idea this was how Blake got Jen's phone, and his side is 100% paying attention to the coverage and are floored with everything that's been uncovered. They were so grateful for everyone fighting for the truth. Oh, and about that smear campaign, they know where it originated. It was fans of Colleen's book, not Wayfarer, that led the backlash. They had nothing to do with it. Real victims of DV were angry and loud because of Blake's promotion, which they had nothing to do with. You guys can actually pause to read this, and I'm not going to read it because she actually goes over this in her video, which I'm going to show you a clip of. Now listen to what she believes Brian Friedman did.
My belief is that a trap was set by Friedman to finally suss out the validity of the subpoena, to get to the root, to force their hand to disclose it. And the subpoena was listed in a claim, which would force the discovery and the disclosure of the subpoena, okay?
A trap was set by Brian Friedman. Is it just me that thinks this is truly weird for her to say? If you have been fully invested in this lawsuit, let me know if you think that Juston Baldoni's attorney, I emphasize attorney, is sitting around and plotting and planning what trap to set. She also mentions it in her description, and as you can see it says, Blake Lively and Stephanie Jones defied the court by running to the tabloids to change the narrative, and all of this backfired and ultimately exposed the biggest lie. The best part of all this was a trap set by Baldoni and his attorneys who forced their hand. Once again, I don't follow this case that closely. If Baldoni and his attorneys did set this trap, please let me know if that's true. Then towards the end of her video, she makes this announcement.
My final moment here is that I've had a chance to connect with a couple people connected to Baldoni. And I don't want to say who I've talked to or what was said in its entirety, but I wanted to make sure that, one, I'd never made contact with anyone related to him, connected to him at all. I just wanted to make sure that everyone's doing okay. And I asked how everyone's doing. And I was told that it's been an absolutely devastating experience. It's been horrible, beyond comprehension for his family, his friends, his extended family, and his business. His entire life is completely shattered, literally and figuratively. And they did not know about this lawsuit. I asked. They were shocked when they found out, but they weren't surprised. They weren't surprised because they knew that they had done something to obtain those records. They had already had experience with how dirty these people play, that it's become the norm for them. It's almost like it's disheartening and it breaks their hearts that this is what happened. But at the same point, it's become so normalized. It's become just a part of every day with them that, oh, okay, so this is what they did. But it sounds like having to deal with Blake and with Ryan and with these people, it's like walking on eggshells or landmines and never knowing what was going to happen. Like it being that hostile. At least that's how it was in the words that were spoken to me. And also, I asked them about the smear campaign and I made a comment about, I noticed that a lot of this seemed to happen from Colleen's fans. It seemed to come out organically from her Facebook group, and there had been backlash about the wardrobe. There had been backlash about the castings. There was backlash with Colleen, and I even said about the book, the coloring book, the It Ends With Us coloring book, and how that promotion and Colleen trying to capitalize on it caused a huge backlash from her fans, and that Lively should have known that this promotion wasn't going to work based on what happened to Colleen. And all they said was no smear campaign happened, and it all originated from who? Colleen Hoover's fans of the book and book talk, and these loyal survivors that didn't appreciate the downplaying of domestic violence and who also found the self-promotion tone deaf. And they didn't have to do anything. Never happened, they said. Sexual harassment, they said, never happened. It's all just some sort of game that they don't really even know what the goal was. So I did let them know that everyone is thinking good thoughts, sending well wishes, hoping, and, if there are people that are praying for them, and that at the end of the day, everyone is fighting for truth and everyone's fighting for transparency, and every person just wants justice for Juston and for his staff and for his wife and for Jamie and Jamie's wife and all the women involved in this case, Jen and Melissa and Jed Wallace. And they appreciated the support. They're paying attention. They appreciate the support because it's felt very hopeless for them. So at least in that way, I guess we're doing a little bit to help, but they certainly weren't feeding me any information for a smear machine. They basically just confirmed what I had already found online, which was that there was no smear machine.
It's sus that she would say that she has never before made contact with anyone connected to Baldoni, and yet this was the time that she chose to make contact when she wasn't being given the credit she wanted. So she reached out to people connected to Baldoni to make sure everyone is doing okay. And immediately they obliged and responded to her and gave her all this information about how Baldoni and his family and those around him is doing. She states in a video that she asked them about the smear campaign when she goes on to say that she made a comment to her source who is connected to Juston Baldoni. And her comment to the source was how she noticed a lot of it seems to happen from Colleen's fans. Yet, if we go back to her post on Instagram, she states they know where it originated. It was fans of Colleen's book, not Wayfarer. But if you go back and you listen that clip from her video, she clearly states that she made a comment and she said to them that she has noticed a lot of it seems to happen from Colleen's fans and it seems to come out organically from her Facebook group. Without a crystal ball herself fed that information to whoever she is connected on Baldoni's side. All they said, and as she says in a video, the smear campaign never happened, sexual harassment never happened. All I can say is best of luck to whomever that is connected to Juston Baldoni and who is giving without a crystal ball information about his well-being. Then she makes this post, allegedly. Is this why Tay-Tay wants nothing to do with Blake's legal drama? Hot tea off the plane. This is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I cannot confirm, but I'm sharing because just tonight, a source connected to Taylor Swift told the media that she wants nothing to do with Blake's legal drama. The source made it seem like Taylor was over Blake and uninterested in this fight. Now this comes out. Who knows if it's true? But we saw her text about never with teeth. Blake called ball busting her love language and wanted to show Juston how she would portray their banter and intimacy for the film. So I was sent photos from the girls' weekend, which are not from Britney's Instagram. Also, she alleged that the friends feel used by Blake and think she loved bomb them. Update. I've gotten a bit more information about the girls' trip. Britney hosted a 30th birthday for her friend Miranda. As a result, friends of Miranda were invited to the trip. While they all know Britney, not all of them are close with Britney. Some of the women are older than Britney, and my source's sister is the exact same age as Blake and grew up in Burbank. My source friend is a bit older than Blake, but not by much. She apparently remembers Blake as nice in high school, and my source said her friend sees the best in everyone, so that doesn't surprise her. Again, all alleged, but the identities of the sister and the friend are known to me. All alleged, take with a grain of salt and large bag of tea. The only person I can identify from that story is Taylor Swift. The rest of the people, I don't know who she's talking about. If anyone knows who she is talking about, please enlighten me. All this, in my opinion, is without a crystal ball giving herself the importance she so desperately has tried to achieve for years. And some people may think that I am being mean. I am just coming from a place of witnessing what Without a Crystal Ball has done throughout the years when she feels slighted. Now, with this story, she feels that the Daily Mail did not give her the credit. She's insisting that she broke the story. But again, it just doesn't make sense for me that she did break the story.
Well, I don't know if it'll go criminal, but what I do know is that I've covered a lot of cases in the years that I've worked as an investigative journalist. I've uncovered horrible actions by very well-known and wealthy people. I have learned that greed, wealth, and power are often a catalyst for corruption, evil, and crime. And when someone has unchecked power and unlimited resources, many times they will believe they are above the law. And there's been times in my work where I have felt disillusioned or I have felt discouraged. There was a case I covered for years, and it took more than 4 years from the time an indictment happened to the time a criminal conviction came. And during those 4 years, I was terrorized by the individual under indictment because I called it from day one, because I knew what was happening. And I knew this person that had a very public platform was manipulating the public, misleading people, defrauding people, and dangerous. And the day that that person was convicted, I breathed a sigh of relief because I knew that when they were in jail, they could no longer terrorize me. This is how I imagine Juston Baldoni and Wayfair feel, up against malignant narcissists that will stop at nothing to destroy their targets. And it takes very little to piss someone off that's a malignant narcissist. And don't forget that this case is not just about Juston. This isn't about sexual harassment. This case is destroying women too. Women, Jen Abel, Melissa Nathan, Emily Baldoni, Natasha Heath, and all of the staff that are females at Wayfair.
Katie Joy is not an investigative journalist. She is a wannabe. She claims that she has uncovered horrible actions by very well-known and wealthy people. Without a crystal ball is gaslighting the fuck out of people. The horrible actions she speaks about in regard to Josh Duggar, she didn't discover that, and when she did report on that situation herself, she defied the rules of the court, and she took a photo of Josh Duggar during his arraignment, which was against the court's rules, yet she did it anyway. And this is what she had to say about it.
Today, I was at the hearing for his arraignment, and here's what I'll tell you about the arraignment today. He was not wearing an orange jumpsuit. He was actually wearing a black and white jumpsuit, so like a pins, like the horizontal stripe jumpsuits. It had like a Washington County like emblem on it, and I grabbed a screenshot just for record so I could have like a memory of what he was doing.
When she uncovers horrific actions, whether they are well known or not, why does she feel the need to sit on a large social media platform and demonstrate the horrific actions these monsters do? Like she demonstrated for her audience how Josh Duggar essayed his younger sister.
Digitally penetrating. What do you think that sounds like? You put your fingers up the genitals of a 5-year-old girl. So you rape a child by sticking your fingers inside their genitals.
She also talks about Todd Chrisley, who was facing charges for bank fraud, and she was getting information from his daughter, Lindsay Chrisley, who she said was like a sister to her. So she went above and beyond for Lindsay. And not forgetting, she continuously outed Todd Chrisley as being gay.
And if people are really going to talk about Lawson Bates, I don't ever want to like poke someone's sexuality, but I get some serious gay vibes from him. And I'm pretty sure his dad is gay. Oh, or is that the Chrisleys? No, that's the Chrisleys. Todd Chrisley is 100% gay.
If it is true, not her place. She reported Todd Chrisley to the FBI for witness intimidation. She settled her lawsuit with Todd Chrisley, and I don't see how she can claim to have won when she walked away with nothing, yet spent thousands of dollars in attorney's fees. She was sued by Tati Westbrook, and she claims that she won that lawsuit because she was going to countersue Tati. Yet, when Tati sued her in her own state, she ended up settling the defamation lawsuit with Tati and gave up her source. She didn't break any story. Tati Westbrook's business partner, Clark Swanson, was feeding without a crystal ball information about Tati Westbrook. When she felt other creators used her content, she went ape shit on them. She threatened to include them in her litigation, and some she even threatened to sue them. Again, she says she won this defamation lawsuit when she walked away with nothing. She gave up her source and spent tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. She is and has been involved in another defamation lawsuit, I think for now 3 years. She has already privately given up her sources, spent thousands of dollars in legal fees. I have learned the same thing in regards Without a Crystal Ball, who has mentioned that she has made millions on YouTube.
Has anyone heard me publicly say I've made millions on YouTube?
No. I'm telling her that my channel's grossed millions. That's true. And I want to be clear, you guys. Christy wanted me to give them advice and strategic help because I had a healthy channel, okay? This is my channel, Bree. My channel has grossed millions in revenue. This is coming from experience and trying to help. She doesn't need a manager and a PR. She needs to get offline and to heal. I've never had a manager or PR ever, and I haven't. That's my revenue, no manager, no PR. I did show her my revenue. So if she wants to show you my revenue, you guys can see it. But it is a couple million.
In my opinion, she is just as corrupt. I have been a victim of hers recently when she used someone else's situation to try to bring me down because I stood up for a man she falsely accused of sexual harassment. She also falsely put in a post on her Instagram with thousands of followers, falsely stating that I agreed to help Robert Shinn, the man that is suing her for defamation. She wants to claim that she was terrorized by Todd Chrisley, just that she didn't use his name. Go and research Without a Crystal Ball. See for yourself how many people without a crystal ball has terrorized. She inserted herself in his family drama. Also, in my opinion, you know who was manipulating the public, misleading people, and dangerous? Without a crystal ball. Without a crystal ball doesn't give, again, excuse my language, two fucks about any of these women. It's all about her ego, money, notoriety, and wanting to be standing on that number one podium, which she has been trying to achieve for years. But each time she fails. But I will give her her dues. She tried and failed, but she didn't fail to try. And each time she finds herself in a defamation lawsuit. She's fighting and degrading and disparaging whoever at that time. As of recent, it's been ZACK Peter of No Filter, which, reminder, I did a video about that. It will be listed in the description box. And the Daily Mail and one of its journalists, Josh Boswell. I am a nobody, and that's fine. My platform is not big enough for people to want to pay attention or even care as to how fucked up Without a Crystal Ball is. So do your due diligence, people. Research what she herself has done to other women who have bigger platforms. Tati Westbrook, Emily D. Baker, Sherelle's World, even up to somebody that people feel is a nobody. Another much, much smaller creator. But the harm that she tried to bring upon her using the court system will blow your mind. But once again, nobody cares about the smaller creators. I continually get messages from people coming after me in defense of Without a Crystal Ball. And the only thing that they can say is that I am jealous of Without a Crystal Ball. Nothing else. They can never say what I report about her is not true and that I am lying about her. It is always I am jealous of her. And it never fails to make me have a good chuckle. Without a Crystal Ball is a stay-at-home mom who has a YouTube channel that she has made very successful with very disturbing and questionable actions. The time she did write for a blog called Pathos, and she felt then that she was an investigative journalist, they let her go and scrubbed their entire site of any and all her writings. And this all happened when she was attacking Tati Westbrook. And they had to deal with the legal implications of her falsely accusing Tati Westbrook because allegedly she was using their site to do it all, with Tati Westbrook sending her numerous cease and desist. Without a Crystal Ball, not so long ago, even admitted herself that she does not see herself as an investigative journalist or as a journalist. As you heard in the last clip I played, she uses her legal issues as a way to try convince people that she knows what she is talking about. Is absolutely misleading. So I'm going to end with saying this. Without a Crystal Ball is adamant that she was the one that broke the story of the lawsuit that she found of Blake Lively's in New York. What is so wild and weird to me? If she could find a lawsuit with no case number, nothing to go off, that was the specific lawsuit that everybody was talking about and wondering if it exists. Yet she found it. And what is wild to me is that she did not know that her own defamation lawsuit was filed in her own state. She had a case number. She had all the information. But she went after lawyers discussing it on YouTube and accusing them of getting it from the man that is suing her, Robert Shin, and saying that they got it from the cult.
Be commenting further about this because honestly, it's baseless. So I just want to this is it. This is all I'm going to say. I'm done. The lawsuit is going to go nowhere. Anyone that claims it's a decent lawsuit knows nothing about the law. This is one of many lawsuits I've gone through. And also anyone that claims that I'm always getting sued, that's part of this world. Because of the type of work I do, I cover a lot of cults and they like to sue. And I also cover a lot of criminals that are narcissists and they also like to sue. And so when you are reporting on narcissists, their big defense is intimidation through legal threats. So that's just how it works. I don't look at a lawsuit as it's going to end me because none of them ever have. And they won't. I'm Shiny. I'm just going to come on here for a second. You can join me. I want to be 100% clear right now. 100%. I'm not going to mess around. I'm not going to be silly or funny. I'm going to be real here. My lawsuit is not filed in court. It is not filed in court. I will show you that it is not filed in court. Not one person has reached out to me to ask for a copy of the lawsuit. How then do all of these YouTubers have the lawsuit? Who did they get the lawsuit from? Because it is not filed in court.
No, I pulled it directly from the state of Minnesota's court website myself, personally. It's on the docket. So I don't really know what to tell you. It's filed. It's on the docket. I pulled it myself. So it's got a docket number and everything. Someone tell Katie Joy she's wrong. Someone tell Katie Joy she's wrong. It's filed.
So this is the proof of service filed in the district court, state of Minnesota, 4/5/22, 9:36 a.m. So what? Yesterday morning. This is their notice that they get. I again love the water stamping. You are being sued.
Anyone speaking about this lawsuit communicated with the cult. Is that who you want to be following? Do you want to follow someone that will willingly take a lawsuit from a man like Robert? Because this is not filed in court. This was a pocket service. There is no court record. We are not under the jurisdiction of a court. They got the lawsuit from the cult, not from me. It's not in court. There is no case number, no judge. It has not been filed in court. If you are a YouTuber and you are talking about this case, you did not get it from me.
I pulled it directly from the state of Minnesota's court website myself. It's on the docket. It's filed.
You are being sued.
Because we didn't give you this. We didn't give you this. If you have a copy of it, that means you got it from Robert or you got it from 7M. It's not filed in court. It's called pocket service. That means you can't go online and find this. That means you can't download this from the court. No, they have not filed anything in court. We have not been notified of it being filed in court. So you guys got this not from the court.
No, I pulled it directly from the state of Minnesota's court website myself.
This was sent to my home. They showed up at my home with the lawsuit. This is called pocket service. Pocket service in the state of Minnesota means from the date that you file, you have 1 year, or from you draft the lawsuit, you have 1 year to file it with the court.
So this is the proof of service filed in the district court, state of Minnesota, 4/5/22, 9:36 a.m.
It hasn't been filed. They requested injunctions, but that doesn't mean it's been filed. You can put anything in a complaint, but it hasn't been filed. Like, do you want to argue with me? Because I'm the party here.
Looks like the party was late to their own party.
So if you knew about this lawsuit ahead of time, that means you were speaking to the cult. If you knew about this and you have these documents, that means you're speaking to the cult. If you're reporting on this and you have the documents, you're in bed with the cult. You can be in bed with the cult and on the wrong side, again, like you always are, Emily, or you can be on the right side.
Hold on to your pearls, people, because here it comes. She is going to go off on Emily D. Baker.
I am so tired of Emily Baker. She has made my life hell for 2 years. I don't even talk about her on my channel. She has done every one of my lawsuits, and she acts like they're the biggest deal in the fucking world. None of them have gone anywhere. When I was being sued by Tati Westbrook, she convinced people that I was going to go to jail for civil contempt and that I was destroying evidence when I wasn't destroying evidence. And she also slandered my attorney. She made mockeries of the judge. She gave the judge a nickname. Mind you, she is a she's a bar licensed attorney in the state of California, and she was disparaging a fellow bar attorney. When you're an officer of the court, ethically, you are not supposed to disparage or slander other officers of the court. I know that she's going to get it. And someone told me she's been lied. So if Emily has it, if any other channel has it, I don't understand how anyone can take Emily seriously when she's on her channel cursing, saying facts, not fuckery, and she's not licensed in the state of Tennessee. So she's playing an attorney, but she's not licensed in the state that she works in or that she's in. She, in the state of Tennessee, cannot give legal advice. Unless she's in the state of California, she cannot practice law. I don't care about Emily. I don't watch Emily. Emily can have a great life. I just wish Emily would stop talking about me.
Here comes the threat.
I just want to remind you, Emily Baker, we almost filed a complaint with the bar. We almost sued you. We're still in the statute of limitations to sue you for what you did last year. So just remember that. I can still file a lawsuit against you at any time, Emily, for what you did. And we can still file a bar complaint against you. So we've asked you to stop and you don't. And if you are going to be on the side of the cult, it's not the right side to be on. Emily spread a narrative that I sent death threats. She spread a narrative that I was stalking people and harassing them. She made people believe that I was going to be arrested for destroying evidence. She was actually in a little group that was like behind the scenes doing stuff, kind of following me. She was really close to the prosecution's or the plaintiff's attorney. And when we attempted to reach out with her to share our side, she refused to speak with us. She didn't have to speak with us, but she was trying to say that her coverage was unbiased, but she wasn't because she was getting information directly from the plaintiff's side and not from us. Here come all her fucking fans.
Oh, you can believe, Katie Joy, I would have been there, but unfortunately, you have me blocked.
So legally speaking, what I have is it's a lawsuit. It's just not in court. I have zero interest on going on Emily's channel. There's nothing to defend. Anyone that takes the lawsuit, that 7M, seriously needs psychological help. You need psychological help if you are defending 7M. You need psychological help if you are defending the claims that they're making, and you need psychological help if you're on that side. Yes, I have a production team. And uncivil law, if he pulled it from the court, he got it before we did. I'm not mad at uncivil law. Like, I really don't care. Emily and uncivil, what I would encourage you to do is start digging into the lawsuits that have been filed against Robert Shin.
It's not interesting to me. You know, I'm a legal analysis channel. To go dig into Robert Shin, well, I mean, I guess I could go dig into lawsuits involving Robert Shin or cases that involve Robert Shin, but this one came to my attention, and, you know, we'll analyze this one.
He wants an injunction for me to remove everything about him online. That's hilarious. You can't force someone to remove things that are, like, not true, or that are true. Like, people have a right to have an opinion online. I don't know if that makes anyone else.
That always has and always will be a priceless moment. From my research and reporting on Without a Crystal Ball, I have never seen her discover or uncover anything on her own. The Josh Duggar situation, it was all the authorities. Tati Westbrook, she was being fed information by Tati's ex-business partner. Can I also add that he shopped around with other content creators? They shut him down. Only Without a Crystal Ball fell for his BS. And then, after the fact, when she went to court, was sued for defamation, gave up her source, settled with Tati Westbrook, she claimed that she was manipulated by him. With regard to Todd Chrisley, Without a Crystal Ball was very close to his daughter, Lindsay. And at the time, him and his daughter's relationship was very strained. And Lindsay was a source for Without a Crystal Ball. This situation with Robert Shin and the 7M dancers, when she learned about the story, she immediately befriended the Wilking family. She promised this family that she would return their daughter, Miranda Derrick, back to them. Mind you, Miranda Derrick is an adult. That is a huge promise to make to someone. Her source for the 7M TikTok dancers was an ex-member of the church who had previously sued Robert Shin, and she lost the lawsuit and Robert Shin won. She handed over the court records that were sealed to Without a Crystal Ball. Without a Crystal Ball used those sealed court records against Robert Shin. And not long after receiving the information, she kicked that source to the curb. But if you do wrong by Katie Joy, she will dig into your entire life, find dirt on you to humiliate you, just like she did with her BFF, Amy Duggar King. I don't think they are friends anymore. So that is Without a Crystal Ball. And I didn't even go into how she uses her disabled son to get out of sticky situations. So do you think that she did uncover this lawsuit with Blake Lively? Or do you think she was tipped off by somebody at the Daily Mail? Or do you think that she does have and always did have a connection to someone in Baldoni's camp? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch these videos and support this channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful, restful, and peaceful weekend. Please be safe out there. Be kind to one another, and don't forget, make good memories. Bye, guys.